You awake on a train to the clatter of train tracks. How long have you been asleep? The world outside is covered by a blanket of darkness. Pinpricks of barely visible stars twinkle in the void. Sinister shapes in the dark move between you and them. A voice on the intercom announces, next stop, the Twilight Zone. Howdy, everybody. Happy Wednesday, happy post-Taco Tuesday, happy hump day. I hope you're all having a good one. Happy All Hallows Eve. My God. What are y'all getting up to? Nonsense? Good nonsense, I hope. Howdy. Thank you so much for the hydrate. I hydrated as the intro was playing. Goody hi. How are you doing? I hope you're having a fantastic one. Your art today? It's really awesome. I was in Ultra Lurk mode. Was that Kiki's delivery service? Also, y'all, please make sure to check out and follow the wonderful Mostly a Goat Wizard, because they may be mostly a goat wizard, but they are fully amazing and they make great art. Certainly was, yes! I've never seen it, but I thought I recognized some classic Ghibli things. We will guess it right. I was only unsure because I've only seen a handful of Ghibli movies. So I only had a couple things. I didn't see a Totoro or a cat bus, so I'm like, you know what? I see a witch and a cat, and there's one thing I know about Kiki's delivery service. It's those two things. Oh my goodness. I hope you're doing well. I hope everyone is having a great Wednesday. Welcome on in to the finale of the Horror Marathon, where we will be ranking all 31 games that we played in such categories as horrific honorable highlights, the hey, this was pretty solid category, the could have been betters, the what were they thinkings, and finally, the Resident Evil 0 Stinker Hall of Fame for games I wish I could unplay. That one really rolls off the tongue. Sweet movie with a big message on working yourself too hard and burnout. I mean, listen, working yourself too hard and burnout, that never happens in real life. That's a pure fantasy thing, right? Just break down and cry. Oh man, my goodness sakes, y'all have any fun plans for tomorrow? Any fun plans for the weekend? Any fun plans in general? I hope you're all doing well. I am excited for stream today. I always am, but today I'm really excited because we're gonna be ranking the games. Then we're gonna be diving into a special horror game, which is a treat, I think, for all of you. And if that doesn't work, I have a backup. And then we'll be ending with a reading of The Raven that I will attempt to do live and not mess up. I practiced 3 times before stream, and I think the minimum errors I had was 4. So, you know, not bad. Work and work and work. Exactly. Exactly. Always work, never not working. Because if you're not working, you're not doing it right. Or at least that's how I thought until I had to quit my job because I could not function as a human being. Oh my goodness. Ooh, also, let me get that goal meter up. Because y'all, we're getting closer. If we manage to hit the goal, by the end of stream today, we will be having a movie night tomorrow. And when I say movie night, I mean more like a movie day. I'll be playing several movies in Discord, just because I know we've got people of different time zones, so maybe be able to hit one that's early morning for me, or late in the evening for me as well. You know? Just, we'll have a couple options that we'll rattle through. Some D&D and whatever may crop up on Twitch land. Ooh, very nice. Ooh, also y'all. Next week, we're gonna start Bastion, and our Super Giant Games' games catalog, retrospective, and full-on chat sesh, TM. We're also gonna be checking out Little Hope. The Fog, we're not done with the Fog yet. We got one more city, one more Fog to check out. So we'll be doing that with Zelda, and I'm excited because this guy has caused 0 deaths, and you know, feels good. I've only armed like several people, but I've caused no deaths. And I call that a win. You know, I call that a win. Oh my goodness. Does anybody really get trick-or-treaters? I guess in the past, or are you expecting any this year? I've never gotten trick-or-treaters in an apartment, which is kind of nice. Because when I lived in a house, I would just stay in the back half of the house for the night. They can't get candy, or I don't have to answer the door if they don't think I'm home. Oh, man. I also would try and hit up grocery stores tomorrow, or not tomorrow, but the day after Halloween to try and get that sweet super discount candy. But the one near me is like already full on Thanksgiving mode. They've already pretty much they've already pretty much emptied out their stocks and they're not restocking. It's despicable. Sort of make your house obvious that you want them here. Which kids you know, that's nice. Nice. Otherwise, you just pelt candy corn at them. Is that the idea? If so, I can't, fault that logic. Oh, my goodness. My goodness, y'all. How have we come here? 5 months. Started with a Go Tell game. 5 months. 31 games. Horror marathon. My goodness. Only if they avoid the pit traps. I mean, yes. It's okay. It's okay. You're in international waters now, Goat. It's going through the internet tubes. That means that whatever you admit to is in international waters. Pretty sure that's how that works. Mary, hi. Welcome. Happy Wednesday. Happy Post Taco Tuesday. Happy Hump Day. Hope you're having a good one. Also, how has your Over the Garden Wall rewatch been going? I've been meaning to ask about that. Oh, I hope it's been good. We're gonna start ranking our horror marathon games in just a little bit. I hope you're doing well. Oh my goodness. Not happened yet, but soon. Ooh, very nice. Very, very nice. I had to make some schedule adjustments. Gotcha. I hope it's been good schedule adjustments. But I hope you enjoy it when that starts. I'm looking forward to rewatching a couple movies over the next few days. Like, I want to rewatch Session 9, which I believe was an influence on Silent Hill. And I want to rewatch Annihilation. I know I keep talking about Annihilation. I'm sorry. Listen, I'm a little bit obsessed. Or as Goat likes to say, anal lotion. I think that's just a British thing, though. Those two, and then Black Coat's Daughter. I got a whole bunch of movies I want to rewatch that I just haven't been rewatching for one reason or another. You know, it's a thing. Oh my goodness. Hey, we can all be anal from time to time. Kitty. Oh my goodness, y'all. My goodness. Should we dive into the ranking? Should we start discussing some of these games? Exclamation point marathon for a text wall reminder of every single game that we played in the order that we played it. Oh, look at that list. Look at that list. Also, bot, you interrupted the flow by saying hi to the bot. My goodness. Oh, man. What a list. What a time to be alive. You don't think you saw the end of any of them? That's fair. Especially the ones that were single streams. That went on way past your bedtime. Oh, it is. Welcome. Darkwood S tier. Darkwood has its own tier. Have you? I don't know. You're probably on mobile. You probably can't see the titles of any of these, but here we have the tiers. We have a special tier that's called the Resident Evil 0 Stinker Hall of Fame for games I wish I could unplay. Not gonna give any spoilers. Maybe I might vote for Darkwood there. Also, yes, y'all, please make sure to give the wonderful Odious a follow. Odious, absolutely wonderful streamer who streams in the magical, mystical time of early AM PST. So check yourself. See if you can catch a stream, because it's always fun. Oh, my goodness. Also, this was centered once upon a time. And then I fucked something up. Hold on. Let me see if I can figure out. Select the right thing and center that. Come on. There's so many things. There we go. Close enough. Oh, my goodness. My goodness. I hope you're having a wonderful Wednesday, Odious. It's fantastic to see you. All right. Let me turn down the music just a tiny bit. Just a tiny bit. And let's start talking about these games. We started out with Madison. Let's find it. Here we go. Which, you know, this is a pretty good game. We started out pretty strong. So, as a reminder, let me do this first. We have the horrific honorable highlights, which is like the S tier, the like essence of horror. What a horror game should want to be. Then we have the hey, this was pretty solids tier, which were enjoyable games, but didn't quite hit the like highest highs that they could have. I've got quite a few that I think would go here. And then we have the could have been betters, which are the games that, got really close to being a really fun time. Take into account if you made it better than it should be. You could make an argument for that. We'll go with that. We have we have another category, the what were they thinkings, which is the game that had me question both the motives of the devs and the motives of any publishers or anyone who threw money at them. Quite a few that go into that. And then, as foretold before, the Resident Evil Zero Stinker Hall of Fame for games I wish I could unplay, which is a special place. If you think of any other categories that we should add, please let me know. I will try and do a recap of the games and their plot. But yeah, you can consider these games as streams, like the streams of these games, so that if, for instance, we had fun because we made absolute complete fun of the game, and that would bump it up. Let's go with that. Hopefully there weren't any games that I made even worse. Though maybe I could think of a couple. Oh, Platform 8. Oh, Platform 8's good. In which case, put Resident Evil 0 at the top. Oh my god. Okay, listen. I walked into that one. Full on walked into that one. Didn't expect it, didn't see it, but I appreciate it. Oh. So we could have the Resident Evil 0 one be the games that I feel like caused me psychic damage, but were a fun time for chat as well. Oh. We could consider that. Does anyone have any suggestions for extra rows? Anything like that? Do they all feel pretty good? Or do we feel like we need an extra one? Like, I'm wondering, do we need an extra one between like the pretty solids and the what were they thinking? If I was a good set, I kind of thought so. Yeah. Okay, we'll stick with this. Tone of Thought and hey, this was pretty solid. Caused your psychic damage because of the content. True. I think so. Town of Light, 100%. Very solid. It's kind of in between the horrific honorable highlights, I think, for me. The longest CW in the world? It was. It was indeed. And you know what? It touched on everything. It did. But it also, like, it told, so here's my pitch for moving it up to the Triple H category. It told a important story, and it also didn't sensationalize really anything that it was doing. It just kind of matter-of-factly showed everything. Which, when you're dealing with mental health and trauma in a video game, I feel like we have plenty of examples in this list of them not doing that. And it being for the detriment of the game that they don't take the subject matter seriously. But you know what? Okay. Let's go Town of Light. Oops, I shouldn't scroll. Right? Yeah. Town of Light. Hey, this was pretty solid. Oh. Not gratuitous? Yeah. Having it not gratuitous is really nice. Also, it it told a story about the 1940s in a mental health hospital in Italy and a young woman's journey through it. And all of the abuses that could go or that were happening in those kind of facilities. Which was a very poignant and strong strong story. It was based on true events, which movies can say that about anything. I think it was taken from historical records that these events have happened in these facilities, in these types of facilities. Not that the woman who we played as necessarily existed or all of the things happened to her in that way, but that these were the types of stories that were happening in those facilities. Yeah. So the hate, this was pretty solid. Definitely agree. An absolutely amazing game that tackled subject matter that needed to be tackled about and presented in a horror game, which is the appropriate venue for that, I would argue. And then let's look at Madison. You see that being in Triple H? Yeah. We'll come back. We'll put a question mark around the Town of Light and maybe see if we want to bump it up. Seeing what other things we put into This Is Solid. Just in case that kind of bumps our thinking. But I definitely think if like Triple H is, like the A category. So if we have like A, B, C, D, and F, then this is like a B plus. It's real close to being an A, if not already one. So we start out with Madison, which is the story of a girl who cried a river and drowned the whole world. No, but I mean close enough. It's about a haunting and the gradual possession of a grandson because a grandfather had opened a demon portal trying to talk to his deceased wife. Close enough in a way that's not close at all. Right? We've all been there. It's a story as old as time. For a Visage-like, a game done in the Visage style, a game done in the like PT style of things, I thought this was really well done. It didn't feel overly obtuse, aside from one part where we had to try and find the right record players to get the eyes out. Oh, this is why you've got to do better with gift giving. Listen, we've all re-gifted a demon before. We've all tried it at least once. Exactly. And the clocks. Yeah. Those two were like the only stumbling points I think I had, which is pretty good for this type of game. I remember really enjoying it. I feel like it could be solidly in the, hey, this was pretty solid. This one could be better. Ooh, okay. You think those things bring it down a little bit? You know what? I think you're right. The instant kill chase sequence at the end, where I had to run around and hit all of the record players or I died. That was a bit too much. Could have been better. Yeah. Solid effort throughout that kind of stumbled in a couple spots. Yeah. I can see that. Definitely overstay its welcome a little. Yeah. Well, I mean, hey. We've got no shortage of those. Oh. 90% of these games struggle with it. Indeed. Oh. And then we have Children of Silent Town, which was more on the creepy side. Was a story about a town in the middle of a forest who were surrounded by monsters that came out at night. And they all had to be quiet. And they all couldn't sing. Song was banned. This is the town of Footloose. But we believe, and our mother believed, that song was good. So we sang. And so she sang. And then she went missing. And then we went looking for her. And we discovered some shit. Like that this town is the last part of a giant kingdom that once revered singing, but the singers had the ability to affect others. Kind of psychic singing, I guess? Maybe a little bit. And in doing and having that ability, they ended up causing their own downfall, leaving behind ruins and these monsters. And in the end, we had to choose between helping the monsters or the city or the townspeople, because we were stuck in the middle. We were in mid-transformation from person to monster thing. So it was a good one. It was really good. The art style and music, 10 out of 10. Puzzles weren't bad either. They were not bad at all. Yeah, not the worst Moon Logic. I feel like a pretty solid. What do y'all think? Anyone disagree with this and want to bump it down? Agree solid? Yeah. We started out really strong. Madison, even though it's in the could have been betters, it really hit some good horror points. Children of Silent Town, also another good one. Then we did... Is this it? Then we did... The Exit 8, which I believe is you. Now, Exit 8 is the first one of these that we played of Spot the Difference. When we were running through a train terminal. And we had that guy walking at us. Pretty solid. We had not a super long playthrough of this. Not also as short as the speedrunner of these just playing. You made it better. Why, thank you. I had fun. I had a lot of fun being, with my checklist of things to check out. And also running away from that weird monsoon of blood. Pretty solid. All right. I had a lot of fun with this one. That's what makes the Exit 8 even more, or the Platform 8 even more hurtful to me. Or long. It was entertaining. It did everything it needed to do. It wasn't overly complicated. It didn't throw in anything extra. You knew what you needed to do, and you just kept going. Oh, yeah. Okay. Good. Let's see. Then we had... Then we had Reveal. The horror carnival themed sci-fi memory lab experiment game. A game that was convoluted in plot, nonsensical, and I think even makes less sense in retrospect than I thought at the time. This game was a fucking mess. It was so much. Okay, let's go through it. 1, laughable, laughable, jump scares and horror events. 2, a clueless main character. 3, surprise sci-fi in the third act. Followed by puzzles that were overly complicated. With a memory replacement story to fight Alzheimer's and dementia that doesn't make sense scientifically, and also doesn't make sense like within the context of the game, because they were like, hey, we could use our memory weird technology to fight Alzheimer's and dementia in people. Great, wonderful. What does that have to do with the fucking memory placement trauma center that they have us going through? We're working through somebody's trauma. Why? What does that have to do with with the B plot of this company? What are they doing? Why are we reliving the same day over and over again, trying to work through trauma that isn't even ours, that's somebody else's? Pretty sure they're dead, and we just had their memories implanted in us. What were they thinking? What were they thinking? Does anyone want to go higher or lower? Oh, I respect Reveal for being as funny as it was. Because I got so many laughs out of that game. Fight dementia, except for the literal dead areas in the brain that cause dementia. Quick Google. A quick Google search would do that. Did you know that there is a Reveal extended universe? There is. Was it Shift 87 is in the Reveal extended universe? It's a tie-in game where you spot anomalies. Jess played it. Remember, there's like a weird like clown motif near the end, near like some of the ends where it's like, why is there like funhouse stuff? Because it's a tie-in to Reveal. Brandon, hi, welcome on in. Y'all, please make sure to give the wonderful Brandon Lux a follow. Brandon, I hope you're having an amazing time. Odious, there is. I went to the Reveal store page and was like, wait, what? Shift 87 is a tie-in game? Oh my god. Oh man. Absolutely not game. Right. I think Reveal could fall into the Resident Evil 0 Stinker Hall of Fame for games I wish I could unplay, but I think it was a fun enough stream that I think we could bump it up to the what were they thinkings. Oh my goodness. Ooh, okay, here he hit a little bit of a stride though. Stride. This is where I was like, you know what? Maybe the horror marathon wasn't such a bad idea. We played Outlast, which has plenty of like word of mouth around, but was still fun. Got me a couple times with the scares, and was genuinely, pretty fun. The ending took a hard left turn, and was just like, okay, I guess I'm running away from a ghost. Shift 87 was way more entertaining. It was odious. I'm concerned though that I'm pretty much just gonna ignore, I think, whatever games those devs put out, because they seem like they're full on in on Reveal lore. And you know what? I'm good. I'm full on good. Oh my goodness, that could have been better. Interesting. Okay, I thought my vote would be pretty solid because it was enjoyable. It was a one stream game, which was nice, but it did kind of meander near the end and Outlast with the other one. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. BDO, howdy, howdy. Happy post Taco Tuesday. Happy hump day. Hope you're having a good one. I think Outlast 1 was pretty solid. I don't think it's necessarily a highlight. But it was good. It was good. It was a fun time. And we managed to do it in one stream, which is nice because it didn't overstay. I did mention it meandered at the end, but overall, pretty darn solid. Before we move on to Little Nightmares, which is next on the list, with this company, do we want to move Town of Light up a little bit? Do we feel like it transcends its current company to be a Triple H? Because that's kind of where I'm leaning. Okay. If anyone disagrees, please let me know. But yeah, see, I think once we start filling this out, we might have like some that move up and move down. If you feel like something should move up or move down, please let me know and we can discuss it. But we come to Little Nightmares. The story of a raincoat-clad, tiny thing in a world that wants to eat her. But then she decides to eat it. Here you say Triple H threw you off. You thought we were talking about wrestling? There are a few wrestling names that I know. I do know that Triple H is one of them. I don't know what the H's stand for, but I have heard of that name. I was hoping I might throw somebody off. Triple H, really? I mean, I agree. The diorama nature of everything, the puzzles that weren't too bad, it didn't overstay its welcome. It was all like, everything was really well paid off. The ending was really great. I keep right-clicking. I'm sorry. Oh, you can't see that. Hey, thanks. Hunter Hearst Helmsley. Really? Hardcore hand helping is what it means in wrestling. You know what? I'm going to say you're both right. Or is it hardcore hand hugging? Could be that. Does anyone... How's everyone feel about Little Nightmares in the Triple H? Hamburger Helper Hero. It's true. That was the canceled Guitar Hero game, based completely off of the Hamburger Helper rap album, which they had to cancel when they realized it was a rap album because there wasn't really much to do with the guitar. Harmonix was like, you know what? That's our bad. We'll cancel that. Oh, it was great for Triple H. Okay. Oh, glad you remembered the lore. I got to. You share a gem like there's a Hamburger Helper rap album, and I have to devote core resources to making sure that never dies. In my brain. Oh, all right. Now we move on to the sequel that we all agree was unnecessary, overly long, and confusing as hell. And by saying we all agree, that means I just put words in your mouth. Oh my god, where to go? Oh, Outlast 2 follows a husband who decides to not give up on his wife, who is captured by cultists, because he gave up and left his friend when they were younger, and some abusive stuff happened in their Catholic high school that then led to her death, but it was a cover-up, and oh my god. For some reason. we got a baby in the end. Lightning baby, indeed. We did get a baby at the end. We got the Antichrist, because then it was raining blood. Oh. With gosh darn tedium upon tedium segments in this game. A game that was allergic to giving me an objective marker, even though their environment design and level design really didn't warrant that level of confidence. Does anyone feel like voting for the Stinker Hall of Fame? Because I honestly, I feel like we could do the bottom two for this one. I'm open to either of those. If someone has a good reason for the could have been betters, I'm willing to hear you out. No thinker, all stinker. I kind of agree with that one. The game dragged on for a long time. It really did. It really did. Way too long. I had no idea where I was most of the time. Like, we went through like different areas. We went to a mine, but like geographically, I had no clue where anything was located relative to anything else. If you have been playing, it would be on the bottom. Do you want it to be, what were they thinking? Because I'll put it on stinker, but if we want to move it up, please let me know. Yeah. Could drop it. Dropped. Yeah. It feels like they got... What were they stinking? Exactly, Brandon. It feels like they really got up into their own hype of Outlast 1. Being like, ooh, we're gonna ramp it up. We're gonna double the length of the game, and we're just gonna make everything a whole lot more like loud and in your face, and that'll get people. Also, Corn makes people scared. Stephen King knew this. That's why he wrote Children of the Corn, scariest title in all of literature. Scariest title. That was a huge confidence shaker early on in the horror marathon. I'm like, oh my god, wait. Everyone talks about Outlast, but Outlast 2 is so bad. What am I doing? Maybe horror marathon was a bad idea. But then we moved to Little Nightmares 2, which was a fantastic game. It was so much fun. We played as dapper gentleman / boy with a bag on his head. And he killed so many effing people. Except for that teacher. That teacher lived. But we got to explore the messed up world of Little Nightmares. A game that made me realize that these are all just about gluttony. They really nailed the mud sounds. Oh my god, the sound design. So good. So good. The varied environments, the varied things that you did, like with the TV traveling. So good. The ending, also really good. The reminder of the melody throughout. Amazing. Amazing. Do we agree with Triple H on this one as well? Also, do we want both Little Nightmares in Triple H? Do we feel strong enough that both are the same quality? Just asking questions. He nailed the gameplay mechanics. Sheer terror of it could, yeah, get away from the enemies. Yeah, yeah. Okay, cool. I agree as well. They like any like minor dips or like things were like a little bit finicky to navigate. Um, small little dips. Doesn't take away from the overall experience. Also, another short game. Really let the highlights shine. Which just shows incredibly strong game design. Oh man. Do we remember this one? Right after Little Nightmares 2, we played a game that I heard described like Resident Evil underwater. And boy, did it take me 4 hours to find where they could possibly have come up with a description like that. We played Narcosis, the underwater survival horror, which, it was a thing. Can't let the wrestling thing go. Triple H, most popular entrance music starts with, "It's time to play the game." Extra fitting. That's amazing, Brandon. I love like the synchronicity of that, because I did not plan or know that. Oh. Oh man. Narcosis, a game that dreamed to ask, what if we made an underwater first-person platformer where you couldn't jump, but could only boost? What about that? The underwater gothic waiting game. Oh my god. It had a couple good jump scares. The twist at the end, where the narration that we had been hearing throughout was not our own. Interesting. Little bumps of, hey, that was neat. However, over a 4 to 5 hour experience, and also I am not terrified by being just underwater. That didn't hit me at all. I don't know. I can see the what were they thinkings, or could have been better. What do y'all think? That was interesting. Yes. Yeah, like it had little bumps. But they were such minor peaks compared to the multitude of the valleys. It was all at the end. It really was. Even the jump scares were mainly at the end. We tried to do more like psychological things. There was that one part where I wandered around what was a looping area, probably a half an hour before realizing that it was looping, and that where I needed to go was through the crashed sub, which wasn't really well marked. I don't know. Well, even what were they thinking? Yeah. We had to listen to the repeated a bunch because it would repeat. Yeah. Oh my god, yeah. We had to listen to all that fucking audio multiple times because I kept dying because I didn't know where I was going. You're right. What were they thinking? Yep. Another one of like this was so close to Outlast 2 and Revealed, and I'm just like, oh my god, what am I thinking? Doing a horror marathon. But then we went with an old favorite, a dark horse, some might say, that not a lot of people played, I don't think, but that was a just delightful game overall, called Killer Frequency, where we play a radio DJ during a murder spree in the 80s. and we take on the role of the 911 dispatch operator because they have to leave to get reinforcements. It was pretty damn solid. It really was. I really liked it. The puzzles were not super difficult, but completable and interesting. They were unique. Each one was a little bit different. We didn't save everybody. Spoiler alert, I replayed after stream and saved everybody. There's no video evidence of this, but I will say I did do it. I'd hate it because I lack the ability to read a map. Oh no, odious. That does get tough. I will say if you don't have any sense of direction, even with a map, that makes it pretty difficult. The voice acting, the cheesiness of like kind of everything also, mixed with the like actually sometimes tense walking around the abandoned radio station. Pretty good. I really liked it. I think Solid's a really good one. It is definitely one of those super fun games. Also, like, if you can't, congrats on being able to read a map. Oh, why thank you, honey. Oh, and on saving everybody, I guess. Why thank you. We did pretty good in our playthrough on stream, where we kind of all pitched in and made our best guesses at things. And Killer Frequency is a game where you're not really penalized if you don't save everybody. It's more like you get, like, they call back in, you get more, you get more lore. You get, Hot Scott, listen, if someone had to go, it was Hot Scott. I'm sorry. He knew that the pretty ones die first and die horribly in horror movies. He knew what he was getting into. Yeah, I will say, trying to save all of the teens, that one was difficult. He was too hot for this world, exactly. Now he's being a hot angel in heaven. Oh my goodness. Also, y'all, please make sure to give the wonderful Ani Henchard a follow. Ani's an absolutely fantastic being and a fantastic streamer. Oh, the Killer Frequency was really fun. We got some really good, sass in. And honestly, play and choose the wrong teens. It's amazing. Oh, I bet. Oh my god, when everything's just going wrong, and all you can hear is "Oh no, no!" Oh, what a fun game, and also pretty strong. Or pretty intelligent and relatable protagonist too. Playing as Forrest Nash was like, hey, I like this guy. He's a little bit up himself, but he's not an idiot, and that's a rarity. We're gonna dive more into the idiots in a little bit. Yes, of course, Ani. Like, yeah, we all know you play a rogue is one of the remarks. Oh my god. You play a rogue in D&D, so you must be great at lockpicking. The girls responds when you pick each teen. See, that's the thing. The writing and the voice acting is so good. I thought one of those teens, I thought that girl was one of the people in Little Hope. I thought it was one of the same voice actresses. I was wrong, but her voice sounds a bit familiar to one of them. It's so good. It's so good. It's exactly that. That's amazing, Odious. Oh my goodness. My goodness. Oh yeah. After Killer Frequency, we played Mists of Aden, which was an interesting indie horror game. Definitely felt like a very indie game. But we were playing as a robber who kept breaking into the same house repeatedly. It then took like a hard right turn at the end where we realized that we were a writer who was trying to work out his writer's block. And in doing so, we was writing the stories that we were in while drawing from pieces of his life. He was also neglecting his wife and child because he was like, I need to write. It wasn't a bad game. It was pretty fun to play. I could see it mainly in like kind of straddling the line between pretty solid and could have been betters. And he was a flop. It really was a bit of a flop, right? It really was. The caveat that it's a writer. Yeah. Because trauma, etc. Yeah. The shortcut, right? The things that Town of Light didn't do. It did like the shortcuts of trauma, right? We could how about solidly we put that in the could have been betters. That had really strong ideas, fairly good execution. But with like one or two like punch ups could have really been solid. Yeah, okay. That's kind of, I feel that way too. The ending kind of comes out of the blue. There's a little reference at the beginning that writers always write about themselves, which kind of felt out of left field, but kind of ties everything together. But yeah. Still, not sad I played it. Didn't have any major issues with it. Like with the what were they thinkings, and it was a one-stream game where, aside from a sudden twist at the end, really kind of nailed an enjoyable experience. Oh, and then from there we dive into Platform 8. Platform 8. A spot the difference game that tells you when there is a difference to spot, that also has some instant death anomalies that you have to try and figure out how to defeat. Also, there are some that it just straight tells you how to defeat. And it doesn't make a lot of sense altogether. Moon Logic game. Really is. Oh man. I'm just setting it there for now. Oh, this was a meh. It really was. I never give indie games a bad Steam review because they usually get so few reviews that one bad review skews wildly what level of thing that they get. I was so close to giving this a bad review. I was also really close to requesting a refund. Door puzzles where you jiggle the doors. Oh my god. I forgot about that. Where you had to tell me what to do because I was done. I forgot about that. I think that moves it even lower for me. I think we could do a Stinker Hall of Fame. Speak now, anyone who disagrees. Oof, Ani, it was a time. Oh, because Jess had to ask for help. Yeah, I didn't get it at all. And I was stuck in that room. I couldn't leave. I couldn't start over. Oh, man. Oh my god. And right, starting over, the ones where the what was it? The instant death anomalies where they didn't tell you what to do, and we had to just restart over and hope that we never saw them on the next run because we still didn't know how to defeat them. Oh man, and the inconsistent visuals where they had one anomaly who did one thing in one situation, but in another situation, the way that you got past him was something completely different. Oh man, yeah. God, I'm remembering so much about this game. You were trapped. You had to walk up to each door, but didn't jiggle it. It was so lame. Yeah, yeah. God. And by that time, I had tried the door behind me several times in different scenarios, and that never was an answer. So my thought process was, it's never the back door. Turns out it was the back door. Instant kills are such a bad player experience. Yes. Need to telegraph the danger appropriately. Exactly, Lonnie. I think insta kills are 99.99999% of the times bad game design. I'm willing to be proven wrong in a small specific instances, but most of the time I feel like they are horribly bad game design. Oh man. God, that game. But we moved from that one into The Inheritance of Crimson Manor. A puzzle game which ended up being are better on quick restarts like Celeste. Agreed, 100%. Celeste does it really well. Still don't feel great. They don't, but it's more understandable, right? It's a quick restart. You pretty much know what's going to kill you. So there's never really any question of it. One animation, right? Respect the player's time. Exactly. We'll get to the witch's house, which also has instant kills, but it has the ability for you to just restart the room where you died in. And that was really nice. That was a nice accessibility feature that I don't believe was in the original, but was in the remake. And made that game 100% way more enjoyable than it would have been. So The Inheritance of Crimson Manor. We play as the executor of this caned guy's estate. And we have to solve puzzles in his house to understand the experimentation that he did. The scientific evolutionary, I can't stop burping, eugenics to try and make his family immortal. Because he recognized that the lifespan living in London during the Industrial Revolution was pretty low. But in places that had never seen industrial processes, the lifespan was pretty high. I'm gonna guess it might have been the huge amount of toxicants that were being spewed by the factories that no one was accounting for or, putting anything safety regulated on. Maybe that. Who knows? We find out, burping up eugenics, imagine, right? Him and his family are said to have died / vanished on a during a boat fire on the Thames. We find out at the end, solving the last puzzle, that no, they're all in vats of eugenic soup and are being made immortal. And he will grant us some place in his new world order if we just go, okay, that's fine, boss. we'll stick around with you. I'm not going to interrupt your process. Tube vampires, exactly. We got faked out at one point in this game. When I say we, I mean me, because I solved one puzzle that gave me 2 items. Except it didn't give me 2 items. It handed 1 item to me and then made me pick up 1 item off the ground. That I missed that 1 item on the ground for an hour. And the map and the hint system would not let me know, or would not tell me where I had a missing item. If that didn't happen, I think this game would be pretty solid. But because, yeah, you remember that? I know. I think I facepalmed at the beginning of the second day of the stream of this game. Second day of streaming this game, when I realized what had happened. So I think could have been better. There were some things like the hint system, like the map, that just could have been slightly improved to make it a little bit better. Does anyone disagree? Does anyone want to move this up or down? I think the puzzles overall, pretty darn good. Pretty solvable. I never had to look anything up. Usually if I was like, oh, I can't do this, I'll move on to something else. So I never really felt too lost, except for that end where I had a key that came out of a clock that I then didn't realize and had to pick up. Agreed? Okay, cool. Overall, pretty fun game though. A lot of really fun puzzles. If you want a game that's all about running around a mansion solving puzzles, that's right up there. Botany Manor, Escape from Mistwood Manor, and this game. Really fun games to just run around and solve puzzles. But this kicked off a theme for the week of playing a game for one stream, and then the next day having a half an hour left in said game. So then I started a new game. Because after that, we started Made of Scare, which was a stealth horror game, kind of in the area of Outlast, that I never really got. I got stuck once on a sound puzzle, which was a little frustrating. But otherwise, it was a fun game where we were the husband. No, we weren't the husband. We were the to be wedded of the daughter of a hotel owner on an island along the Welsh coast, I believe. I believe it was an island. Might not have been an island. It was somewhere. But we go there, and everyone is a little off and angry and very sensitive to sound. I thought this was a really good story with a interesting twist at the end, where an interesting integration of Welsh folklore. Sorry, I was like, what's the name for it? Folklore of mermaids, which was really neat. Remember setting your stream to alert, going to take a shower, coming back to Made of Scare, like, wait, what happened while I was gone? Yep. Played about a half an hour of Inheritance and then moved right into Made of Scare. Oh. If I hadn't, I got tripped up on that one sound puzzle, which I ended up just brute forcing, which was nice. Oh my god. Dr. Captain Sir, thank you so much for your second month. Oh my goodness. For your Second month streak for your 3 month sub. Oh my goodness. Enjoy that extra jump scare you got out of it. I hope you're having a fantastic Wednesday. Oh my goodness. My goodness. I don't know. I feel like this was a pretty solid one. Wednesday's fun day. Oh, hell yeah, Dr. Captain, sir. I'm glad to hear it. I hope you're having a fantastic one. I hope you're having a great week. I hope everyone's week's going well. And you're all ready for the hallowest of weens tomorrow. Does anyone feel like this should go in the could be betters? Or do we feel like this was a pretty solid one? So excited for it just being Halloween. Ooh, yeah. Do you have any plans? Also, it's fine if you don't, because I don't, and I'm just gonna watch movies, and that is as exciting as my Halloweens are, and you know what? I like it. Ryan, hi. How are you doing? Happy Wednesday. Glooper fart. Exactly. Also, yes, y'all, please make sure to give Dr. Captain Sir a follow as well. Absolutely fantastic bean. This is pretty solid. It's your Monday. Oh no. Oh no, Ryan. Oh, you're back from vacation and working. That's fun. That's amazing. Also, miss your vacation already. I saw your photos and it looked amazing. Oh man, I hope it was as amazing as it looked. Also, I just realized you didn't get a fish for that. So let me fish for you. There we go. Ooh, also, spooky background just dropped. There was a Halloween update. You could ween with your friends or by yourself. Exactly. Ooh, enjoy the black spotted grunt. You didn't, but your brother has friends that have kids. Having fun Halloween. Ooh, are grown now, so you're just like, that's awesome, Dr. Captain Sir. Yeah. Yes, we have fishing for anyone who subs, or you can do !fish every 10 minutes. Oh, Made of Scare was really solid. I was a little bit worried that it would be end up being more like a, Madison or Reveal, that kind of like, it has heady aspirations, but then kind of falls flat. But it was really fun. I really enjoyed it. And also, we played this game and then beat it a half an hour into the next stream, which then we played Insomnus in. Insomnus, the game that gave us the quote, really going through those orphans. We are running around this mansion that is slightly haunted by children. Children who were orphans, who this couple took in from the orphan store, who kept getting many orphans for some reason. No one asked where the orphans were going or why they needed so many. But we're doing experimentation on them. And had a secret lab in the basement. And we could either destroy the data that they got from the orphans and experimenting on them, or we could continue on the research. There were ghosts looking over our shoulder, so we decided to destroy the research so they didn't absolutely wreck us. Oh, but a pretty fun one. Maine was stunning. It looked like it, Ryan. Also, yes, y'all, please make sure to give Ryan Not Lying a follow. Ryan is absolutely fantastic bean, who is doing his, I believe, 5th toy drive for children. Absolutely amazing. Ryan does amazing things for charity, and it's just a really fun to be around bean. So please make sure you follow Ryan. 5th indeed. My God, it's incredible. Oh man, it's so cool that you do that, Ryan. Now you're scrambling for MMM Sunday? My goodness. Also, yes, y'all, please make sure to follow Ryan for Metal Meal Meltdown. My goodness, if you want to hype up your stream, let us know the time you're going live. Please feel free to. We support MMM and anyone who's streaming there. I know Hesty's going to be a part of that, and Rod too. It's going to be really exciting times. Middle Meal Meltdown, y'all, is great. They have a streamer in every time slot, and there's just a raid train that goes from one to the next. It's a super fun time. I always leave a tab open with Middle Meal Meltdown, just seeing where I go. Sunday noon to 3 Eastern. Hell yeah, y'all, please check out Ryan's stream that time. And any other time as well, but also then. Super welcome, Dr. Captain, sir. I hope you're having a fantastic one. Oh. Does anyone have any feelings on Insomnus? Do we feel like that was a solid, or it could have been better? MMM is great. Oh, it is so good. It is so good. Oops. Keep right-clicking accidentally. I'm trying to think. There wasn't anything that really got us hung up in it. It's interesting because each of the ghosts had us solve something related to them, and then we moved on to the next ghost. Did you ever play it again? Well, I did play it afterwards to try and 100% it, and I did. And it was fun enough to do that. Much about the game, to be honest? Yeah. It was fine. I think it was fine. Do we think could have been better because it wasn't really memorable? It was a solid, indie game. But it could have used a couple things to really kind of maybe not really spice it up, but to really make it stand out. Yeah? Okay. I think that's fair. It just, I guess the way to think about it is it didn't have too many highs, but it was just kind of solid throughout, you know? It didn't have many lows, but, you know, not really much to you know, talk about to friends. And then after that, we had Dead Rising week, where I couldn't stream because they were doing a ton of work in the hallway outside my apartment. / in my apartment, to install cables. So we played Dead Rising in Discord, and I remember just how much I love that game. We had a lot of fun throwing out theories about what was going on, and we just had a lot of just chit chat and whatnot. I remember really enjoying that. But for everyone who doesn't remember Dead Rising, it takes place in a mall in Willamette, Colorado. We are one Frank West, who is dropped via helicopter onto the mall, a photojournalist who got a tip that something big was happening. And that big thing? Zombies. After seeing people being eaten alive, we decided to realize, hey, this is zombies going on. Only took about 10 people that Frank saw being eaten alive for him to go, zombies? And then the mall gets overrun, completely overrun with zombies. We are working with Homeland Security agents, trying to deal with what's going on. Everyone's saying you know, there was a terrorist attack at the mall, all this stuff. We're trying to figure out what's going on. A really interesting story to actually unravel about why the zombies were happening, what caused them, all this stuff. Well, he just ate 3 people. I guess he skipped breakfast. Exactly. It was also fun chatting in the calls. It really was. I feel like pretty solids because it was a pretty good environment overall. Let me know if anyone disagrees, wants it higher or lower. I feel like this was a pretty fun time. I did run into the issue that I thought I would, in that Dead Rising, the non-remake, has some rough spots. Like me having to restart it once because I did not save. And there weren't any autosaves. So I lost a buttload of progress. But it ended up working out because it lasted the entire week. We even got to overtime mode, and we beat overtime mode by fist fighting a general on top of a tank surrounded by zombies. You know, that's just a good time. It's a pretty solid time. Oh my goodness, y'all, we've made it. We've made it through most of them. We're doing good. We feeling good? We feeling good about our choices so far. Temperature check, y'all. That was pretty funny, though. The Dead Rising has some pretty good comedy. Both intentional and non-intentional. Oh my goodness. Let me know at any time also if once we start filling out, I know I said this before, but once we're filling out these rows, if you feel like something should come up or come down, given kind of the context of what's around it. Oh my goodness. Oh my God. So speaking of a dense protagonist who doesn't really know or doesn't really want to believe that zombies are a thing until told directly, and then witnessing people being eaten directly in front of him, we have runner-up to the dumbest protagonist in video games. We have Tormented Souls. We play as a lady who got a letter instructing her to come to a remote hospital in Canada. Upon stepping on the premises of this hospital, she is clonked in the back of her coconut and wakes up naked in a bathtub, missing an eye. Also, she has a breathing tube down her neck. That's somehow important. After that, we explore the hospital as her, solving puzzles, some of which were a little obtuse and took a little bit of extra brain power. Fighting these horrific monster thingamabobs, talking to this weird priest who we never suspect of doing anything bad. Excuse me, my goodness. Reading letters about twins and whatnot, and not really putting anything together, until confronted with the fact that yes, these stories about these twin girls, we are one of the twins. We are one of the twins, and we escaped this place when we were young. Our other twin wasn't so fortunate, and she turned into an invincible ghost monster that chased us. And the priest is really our grandfather, whom we learned about that through the files. No way, I know, right, Ani? Who would have thought? Who would have thought in a story where we read about twins and our protagonist doesn't want to talk about her background whatsoever, that she turns out to be one of the twins? Tell you what, she didn't recognize that. She was surprised as hell. We also time traveled. We time traveled through mirrors. We Silent Hill traveled to the Hell dimension a couple of times. We did a whole lot. In the end, it didn't even matter because the priest sacrificed himself to wake up a god demon thing that was in the basement of the church. And he was like, hey, I'm going to kill you now. And so then we went and turned off all of the generators that were feeding him blood or something. And then he died. And then apparently there's a sequel they're working on. I don't know. It all feels kind of... feels kind of like, what's the point? But during the game, it was pretty fun. It was pretty dang fun. Grandpa, why? Right? I was hoping they were triplets. I was hoping for some twist that we didn't see coming. And the only twist that we didn't see coming was that the invincible ghost monster who I didn't realize was invincible until I wasted all of my ammo, was our sister, and not our mom. And for that, I think the could have been betters is fair. The pure psychic pain that it brought me every time we read something and then had a scene where this character was clueless about the fact that she was gonna be the twin of somebody. We went back in time, saw our twin locked in a cell, said, "Hey, you look like me and my mother," and nothing. Nada. No second thought. Head empty, just vibes. Head empty, just eldritch vibes, just dancing along. Dancing to the latest Cthulhu bop. Oh my god, the recaps. Oh man. What a game. Fun other than that. Other than the pain of having to deal with the things that our protagonist said. Oh my goodness. But then, from there, we went into a different kind of game. We went into Ether 1, which was an interesting one. We were delving through the memories of a patient who was dealing with Alzheimer's, I believe. I believe it wasn't dementia in this one. Slowly unraveling their past and remembering, and living through their memories, trying to heal their brain and heal the damage. It might have been dementia because we were healing the damage in those like crystal things that were meant to be parts of their brain or memory, I think. And throughout the game, we were kind of questioning who this lady was who was guiding us, and who we were in relation to her. And it turns out we were the patient trying to heal ourselves, and that our memory, we thought we were doing this for our wife. We thought we were healing her, but instead we were healing ourselves for her. We would come across letters and voice lines from her and from our son calling in. And if I remember correctly, it ended up being not real at all. That we were confused. We thought that the Ether 1 facility actually existed and that we were in it and that we were healing ourselves in that, but that we really weren't. That we were just kind of further into our illness than we thought. And we were just, as we were remembering things, we were putting it in the framework of, hey, we are in this facility going back, trying to help things. But really it was us remembering things as if for the first time. What do y'all feel about this one? I'm interested to see where y'all fit. Also, if you disagree with that recap, let me know. Because this one I realize I'm a little bit hazy on, which is, in its own way, kind of ironic. Let's see. There were projectors here that we could solve. We only did about one of them. I tried to go through after stream and do a couple more. I even found a guide for some, but they were so, like, there was like a 17-step process to try and get all of the items you would need to solve to get one projector done, that I was like, you know what, I'm good. I'm good. It was a very interesting premise. It was. I thought that the puzzles to like get from area to area were pretty well done too. I don't think we got too confused about what we were doing or where we were. I feel like this could be in I'm feeling like definitely one of these two categories. But I'm willing to go, I'm willing to be talked into something else. Sci-fi thing, but then we were just in our own head. The end, right? Indeed, yeah. Yep. It's something that we had manufactured. Oh, sorry, my nose is extra itchy today. And I didn't really feel too bad about that kind of ending. Like, you know, sometimes where it turns out like, oh, none of this was real and it was all just a dream or whatever. This one felt it more earned it. And I feel like it did, I feel like it did well with its acting and its writing also. So I'm leaning I'm leaning a little bit more towards pretty solid, but let me know what y'all are thinking. So we could go to could be betters. Also, we could go lower. It's an interesting one. We've got quite the streak after this. Could be better. That's fair. That's fair. I think with some of the complexity that they went with the projector puzzles, in the like, just by sheer fact of the point that we only did like 1 or 2 during the playthrough, out of like 18 or 20. I think that they could have made it a tad bit easier. No complaints with it. A little disappointed when it wasn't sci-fi though. That's fair. It could have been better there, because like they could have kind of hinted at that maybe a little bit more. Because from the start, I had the like feeling that we were already in the machine. But the fact that there was no machine is a little bit of I keep saying this, but a little bit of a left turn, right? A little bit of a, oh, well, okay. So it could have been better. Totally fair. Totally fair. Let's see. After this, we have the game of the hour, Darkwood. Always kind of excited to go through a neat facility. Right, it is really neat. Yeah. I definitely get that. Also, it's interesting to see what people, what sci-fi concepts people come up with, you know? And how that relates thematically overall to everything else, you know? So we have Darkwood. We have Getting Lost in the Woods Simulator. A game fatally allergic to giving you information. A game that is very interested in its own difficulty and its aesthetic. Which, to be clear, I do know where I want the game to go. The character design is really nice. I will 100% give it that. Character design looked really cool. Took me 4 hours to do one thing. And even then, even after doing that one step in chapter 1, after it gave me my next objective, I had no clue what to do. And it didn't feel like running around talking to everybody and just trying all my possibilities. Also, what is up with the nighttime? Because night is very deadly, but also you can't skip it. And all I would do to get around the nighttime is run outside and die quickly, because when you respawn, the game has it as daytime. And I don't understand what the point of night even is, because it is so fucking long and boring. Because you can't go anywhere or do anything. So I think it goes in the Stinker Hall of Fame. That's what you gotta do, right? Yeah. You watch Skin Teen play this one. who historically enjoys bad games. Skewed your perception. That's fair. That's fair. I'm sure the story goes places. They definitely put a lot of effort into atmosphere and character design, and I'm sure they have something that they were going to build up to. I just felt zero incentive after 4 hours to try it again. To see what they were going for. I haven't even read the wiki on the game. And that's as low effort as you can get. Oh, and I haven't felt the need to do that. Oh my god. Next, we have Crow Country. A kind of standout, I would say, in games that really enjoy the early PS1 aesthetic. And that it does something interesting with it. Where it has like the Final Fantasy VII kind of character models and like view. But you could move the camera around. You can, do free aim, all these kind of things that would be more difficult to do in that period of time. It also inhabits a unique environment and has a pretty unique story that kind of everything builds up to, which is really interesting. So we play as, I forget their name, but this purple-haired lady on the cover, going into Crow Country, which is a defunct amusement park. It is filled with these odd monsters. Some are too tall, some are too short, some are just puddles of goo. And we slowly unravel what's been going on, meeting a couple colorful characters along the way. A friendly police officer who says that somebody stole his badge. Don't know who that could be. We're also an officer. Funnily enough. And we meet a lawyer who is representing a family of a girl who was injured at the park several years ago and who has been hospital bound. And she has been infected with something odd, something that doctors don't know how to cure. And the medical bills are piling up, and they are suing to have the proprietor of the amusement park cover that. We unravel some nefarious things happening at the park, like the fact that this park was built over weird deposits of gold, not natural, pure gold in these rods that extend out from the ground. This game was fun. The ending was interesting, right? And who, upon removing that gold from those rods, visitors start showing up. Visitors that look at first human, but are horribly burned or horribly, disfigured. And then they start becoming less human as more gold is taken out. They become just piles of goo towards the end. Sentient piles of goo. All of which carry this interesting bacteria. This thing that doesn't quite exist in our time. We learn that we are the girl who was injured at the park years ago. We encountered the first visitor as they were being held in a cage on ground level. We walked into a room that we shouldn't have, and we were bitten or touched. And we came away with that bacteria, that super bacteria that nothing that we have in our current time could deal with. And what we learn is that whatever the gold deposits were and whatever arrayment they were in was vital for the stability of the world or the stability of something. I don't necessarily know what. And that in the future, the world becomes uninhabitable because of our meddling with this. And by our, I mean the amusement park proprietor. And he realizes this, but really too late. And he devotes his time to coming up with a cure for the bacteria that is infecting us all. Everyone who's at the park who we have met. And he goes to the future through the rod arrayment that is left. We don't know what he sees, but he comes back a monster. The same kind of monster that everyone else, or that we've seen all over the park. Because these monsters have just been people coming back to the past to try and warn us, to stop us from continuing to mine. Game was fun, ending was interesting. Yeah, pretty solid. I agree. I really like the story. If you can't tell of how much time I gave that, I really like the story. I thought the aesthetic was nice. I thought that the writing, everything, just a ton of fun. It's a pretty easy game. I did die once on stream. The first time I have died in that game. But I really enjoyed it. I'm glad y'all thought it was pretty solid too. That was definitely a good one. Also, a game that uses I know I said this in the intro to it, but like the aesthetic well. I thought that unlike something like Tormented Souls that really kind of revels in the bad writing of past survival horror, this one just kind of like, yeah, we're gonna do a survival horror with some like limits on control and limits on camera, but we're just gonna write what is a good story. After this game, the main character is captured and tested to give a cure for the future. Ooh, could be. Because let's see, we have the cure. The lawyer has the cure. The daughter has the cure. Molman has the cure. And the journalist. Right? There's 5 of us that were at the park that got cured. We could all be captured and our blood drained for the cure for the future virus. Oh, man. After this, after we did Crow Country, we did a little game called Mirror Forge. Mirror Forge, a game that really tried a lot. A game where we are trying to forget the trauma of a car accident that I believe killed our girlfriend, wife, probably. We have amnesia because of it. It's our year amnesia anniversary of forgetting whatever the hell happened. Don't remember anything about this game? Well, you're in luck. Because we are about to talk about interdimensional travel. Wait, what am I thinking of? Babylonian gods. Invisible monsters that act purely around sound. Instant kill chase sequences where one false move will have you die. Really barren cityscapes, and just a game that goes on way longer than its premise or its budget really allowed it. The alien dimensions and shit. Oh yeah. We end by attacking demons and whatever the hell else. This was a game that made me go, this feels like an indie game. But guess what? It's got a publisher. Somebody funded this. Oh, a game that really threw out as many curveballs as it really could with what it was about. Throwing in the classic cliche of the dead wife due to car accident. And oh my god, just so much. The Babylonian mythology that it included was neat. Wasn't any better than Reveal. It sure wasn't. It sure wasn't. Liz Sharpie posted on Discord afterward. I will do my best to. I think I can get an image of this. But I will at least take a screenshot and post it. Oh my god. This was a one stream game, but this was a really long stream. This game should not have lasted 5 hours. So I'm leaving it up to you. Do we go with what were they thinking? Or do we go with the Stinker Hall of Fame? I do remember liking their use of Babylonian mythology. That was neat. Or maybe it was Sumerian. It might have been Sumerian. Oh my god. I just remembered the ending where we defeated the god, but the Sumerian guy's like, hey, you didn't defeat him forever. Me, who's been keeping this beast at bay for 2,000 years, will tell you that he will come back. And we're like, but I got my wife though. We're gonna go back home and fuck. Deep lurk. Ooh, yes. Please have a fantastic lurk, Ani. Oh, thanks, Ani. I'm glad this is fun. I think Sumerian. Yeah, I think it was Sumerian too. I was trying to remember because I'm like, was it Babylonian? No, it was Sumerian. Because I think it had reference to Pazuzu, I think at least once, which I believe is Sumerian. Also reference in The Exorcist. Could be wrong, but you know who does. That ending? Yeah, I think that ending puts it in the stinker category. Oh, what an ending. Although, okay, I'm willing. Let me know, should it be pumped up? Does it belong in company with Reveal? Do we just stand in awe of every decision that they made? Okay, here's a good question for a distinction. Do you wish you had never seen Mirror Forge? Do you think that the pure bafflement of their decisions in Mirror Forge was worth experiencing? Wasn't even a good boss battle. Sure wasn't. Turns out a game that's mainly meant to be a walking sim doesn't do good boss battles. Oh, man. If anyone thinks it should go higher, let me know. Otherwise, we'll move to the next one. I remember being absolutely drained by the end of that stream. Just being like, how? We thought this game was going to end like 3 separate times. This is the Alien Isolation of bad indie horror. Say leave it where it is? Okay, that's fair. That's fair. Oh. Ooh, but after Mirror Forge, we have... Nope, not this. Ah, there it is. Sorry, I couldn't read for a second. We have Firework, Chinese horror game where we play as a police detective who's also a little bit psychic, a little bit something. I don't know. It's hard to tell. Diving into the death of a family and a disappearance of a school teacher. We unravel so many mysteries in this. So yeah, this one was, I think I think this one was at least pretty solid, right? Yeah. So if I remember correctly, the family had been poisoned. Aside from the mother, who, after the poisoning of the family, took her own life. Everyone says it was guilt because she poisoned everybody else. But we unravel the true depth of what's going on in that the grandparents lost their son. The daughter living with them is their daughter-in-law. They are doing everything in their power to bring their son back to life, to have him inhabit her body. They will not let the daughter-in-law take her daughter, their grandchild, to the city for a better education, even though she would benefit from that, because they want to be close to their granddaughter. They poison the daughter-in-law's sleep medication. The granddaughter, seeing the tension between the parents and between her mom and her grandparents, the true reason, drug corruption pharmacies, exactly. The granddaughter had talked to her mom about why she took sleep medication. And she said, "Because it makes me feel better." She wanted her grandparents to feel better, so she took the sleep medication that had been switched with rat poison and put that in their food. The mom came home to all three of them having been poisoned. And then, distraught at that scene, took her life. Yep, a second the mother told the kid that, you're like, nope, yep, we all saw where it was going. This was another one where we were able to kind of follow, we were following the plot, we could tell what was happening and what was gonna happen, but it was like being in like a slow-mo car wreck and being like, no, please, no. Could be so delusional that they feel guilt, think they are bringing themselves and their killings to a different, better place. Right? So yeah, that they don't feel guilt. Yeah, where they're doing people a favor, right, Dr. Captain Sir? That's interesting. Oh, Mom was pretty clever in this, but it backfired on her. Had been so crazy. It was a good plan by the mother to try and convince the grandparents that she was being possessed, so that she could then convince the grandparents to let them take her daughter to the city and away from all this. Would have worked great if the grandparents hadn't been as diabolical as they were. Heaven's Gate folks, yeah, right? Oh man. It was a really good story, really told in a interesting way. There was also the twist at the end where we found out the doctor was helping her, and the doctor was trying to go on the run, or faked his own death, was trying to, go on the run so that he, one, could avoid his name, because his name was given to him by people who had trafficked him, and he wanted to be somebody else. He also wanted to try and clear the mother's name a little bit. Maybe not fully, maybe not divulge everything, but just try and not have her be remembered as a terrible person who poisoned her family. Very solid game. Very fun game. Another single stream game, and it was a very, very fun time. Oh, yeah. Honestly, the grandparents feel like they could have gone along with the Heaven's Gate folks, with just how fucked up they were and how willing they were to sacrifice their daughter-in-law to get their son back. It was a little different. The grandparents believed their son's soul was partially possessing. You're right. They wanted to kill her so that the possession would take hold, right? Come into the body. It's not about bringing someone to a better place, more like returning what is lost. Yeah. And also throwing away the daughter-in-law who they didn't really give a shit about. Unfortunately. Because, you know, everyone's life would be better if they had treated her well. Everyone would still be alive if they had treated her well. Just saying. Oh. But after Firework, we dove into Still Wakes the Deep, our second Chinese room game. And my God, just a beautiful, detailed, and intriguing story on a dilapidated oil rig currently living through a full-on thingening happening. I want to make a little bit of a push. Do we feel, could this be a Triple H? Didn't break you at all. It didn't. Single stream game was incredibly fun. I didn't have any bugs. I never got too confused or like lost on any puzzles or any platforming weirdness or anything like that. Amazing accents. Also, the ability to switch between English British and English American. Oh. Do we feel this is just solid, or does anyone feel like it could be a Triple H? Because I don't feel like there were any valleys in between the peaks in this one. Triple H, okay. You'd say Triple H is pretty solid. Hey, listen. Oh, yeah, I agree. Triple H. It was a great, well-told story. Oh, like what they did with the water drowning horror as well. Oh my God, yeah, so much of it, just so well done. And it did have chase sequences, but they didn't feel unfair, you know? Everything felt purposeful. It felt so well detailed. Also, the thing monsters with their weird, like, tentacles they'd whip around the place. Oh my God. So good. Quick check-in. Anyone want to change any of the order that we have it right now? I'll give you a second. I'm going to have a sip of coffee. They nailed the horror elements they decided to incorporate. Yeah, it all made sense in the context. It did. It really did. And the sounds that the creatures would make. Remember early on when we were looking at the like little submersible that they pulled up that was like shaking around? It was screaming and banging in there. Oh, it was so good. Did like this Soma like tentacles they went with? Yeah, right. They didn't have nearly as many buttholes on the Soma. Like they did in Soma. Oh, being plugged into a better world, yeah. Or at least, if not better, different. God, Soma's so good. Oh. After that, I'm taking it that we all we feel alright with where things are currently. Because after Still Wakes the Deep, we played Creeping Terror, a port of a DS game. About a group of teenagers exploring an abandoned house on top of a mine, who then unleash this weird pickaxe shovel man who chases them down and tries to kill them. Oh, excuse me. Yep, okay, perfect. Really, I thought it was a fairly interesting game. It definitely felt like a port of a DS game. Also, really good fall animation. When you're running around without the flashlight on, you trip on a rock. We guessed some of the plot. That falling, oh, it was so good. We guessed some of the plot. But I think I leaned a bit too dark in how I was guessing things would turn out. It ended up being not quite as dark, which is all good. Pretty fun game. They even had like interesting character moments where at first we were not liking one of the friends who was taking advantage of the fact that one of his female friends, was wearing or was attractive and had her wear like a school uniform because that's what his viewers would like because he was an influencer. And then he stood up for her and kicked monster ass several times for her. So, ended up being a fairly okay guy. I just never want to be on a shoot with him. And how did we end this? We ended this running from the shovel monster by some kind of BS. Running through and hitting different valves. And I remember that being a little difficult. That falling was so good. This game, yeah. I feel like this could solidly be it could have been better. It's pretty solid. Said DS port made the controls a little meh. It really did. It really did. I feel like either of these two categories it would work well in. It was simplistic. It was could have been better is fair. Okay. Let me know if anyone feels strongly about it being solid versus could have been better. Didn't see the end. It was kind of an okay ending. They turned back into like teenagers being like, oh my God, remember they called the cops so that they would come to the facility, and then they ran through the woods so that they wouldn't get caught by the cops because they are in a place they shouldn't be, which is not how calling the cops works, because if they used a cell phone, the cops know who called them. Oh, yeah, right. It was a fun time. It was definitely a fun time, but I'm going to put it in could have been better. Could have been better. I got it for pretty cheap, and you know what? For pretty cheap, it was great. True endings when the cops show up at their home, right? Yeah, the true ending is 24 hours later when the cops knock on the door and be like, so we got a call from your daughter's cell phone about this thing going on in the woods. At the old abandoned mine shaft. Smart kids, but yeah. Definitely, that part was definitely very silly, which I just appreciate. It felt very kid-like. Oh, man. Ooh, okay, so after the Creeping Terror, we did a multi-horror day in which we played The Witch's House, which finds us in the woods with no way to go home. The only way we could go is further into the woods, into this peculiar house that has many, many terrible things in it that will instantly kill us. Also, it has a frog friend that we have to kill. Also, it has frog friends' children who we accidentally poison. And it has giant skulls that eat us, and doors and things that close. And it's a very cutesy game, but also a very bloody one. Don't even with the frog. I'm still sad. Oh no! That frog loved us. It did. Oh, it did. It did. And you know what? It died loving us. So really, everything came out good for the frog. You named him Rabbinicus. You did. Oh, this was a fun game. I liked that it had the feature where we could instantly continue after dying, because there are so many things that would kill us immediately after touching them that we had no idea about, that if we had to reload and if we had to worry about a save system, would have been miserable. And then you killed him. Listen. Listen. I just did what the witch told me to do. You know, I played it safe and I followed the witch's advice. Oh. Well, this was a really fun time. I think this was a pretty solid game. I don't know. I don't know if anyone feels different or if it could have been better. I don't think we got too stuck. There may be a couple puzzles that were a little confusing. I mean, it could have been better. We could have not had to kill the frog. You know? Just saying. Just saying. I'll put it here. Anyone can, it's at the bottom of the barrel. You're putting it into the Stinker Hall of Fame because of the frog. Will not forgive them for killing the frog. Well, okay, it's going to the Stinker Hall of Fame. Oh, man. They made sure that we killed that frog. And they also made sure to show us where the tadpoles were. And that they were alive, and then they died. Really, really wanted us to know about that. Oh my goodness. If the frog lived, it would have been pretty solid. Oh no! Now we've got to fight, because we've got Triple H because of the frog and tadpole murder. So that means it evens out here in the could have been betters. Where did that message go? I don't know. Oh. I see some mod censorship going on. Oh. Oh. Unbelievable, right? Got tadpoles? Oh no! Because you wanted them off? I mean, wanting them off is totally fair. It's totally fair, Dr. Captain, sir. Well, okay. With Odious and Merriment basically canceling out, I feel like we can land on the pretty solid. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. It was like hey, it got an emotional reaction from everybody with the frog stuff and the tadpoles. Mildly traumatic experience amongst several. Oh no. Well, at least it's over though. But Sorry you have to live with that. Oh. So we've got Witch's House because it gave us many emotions. It also was just a fun time. Aside from the frog and tadpole murder, you know. Aside from that, we had a pretty good fun time with that. Then, in part of the double horror Wednesday, I think it was Wednesday, might have been a Thursday, we played Anatomy. Anatomy, a story about what happens to houses when they're abandoned for a while. What happens to people? What happens to the first people who inhabit those houses? Really surreal and interesting experience. It's unlike anything I've played before. Oh, it's over? Oh, good. Washed away the fake man. Oh, they washed away into the fake man-made pond you were playing in? Oh, Florida life. Like 5 years old, you cried, oh no, Dr. Captain Sir, that sucks for being so young and having to deal with that, man. You swallowed a frog for money in your youth? It was found in a nearby lake. It's a little impulsive and luckily you didn't get really sick. It's really small. I'm glad you didn't get sick off of that. My goodness. Jody, hi. Welcome. Happy Wednesday. Happy post Taco Tuesday. Hope you're having a good one. Hope you had fun in Coral Island today. Oh, but the real question, audience, were you smaller than the frog or was the frog bigger than you? You never know. Also, yes, y'all, please make sure to give the wonderful Jody Street a follow. I want to make the case that Anatomy is a Triple H. That was such an interesting, well-written, and why, thank you, Jody. I dressed up. I dressed up for fancy times while ranking the horror games that we played. The things we consume as children, right? How can children basically survive? Put an acorn in your nose? To this day, you don't remember where it went? Oh no. Oh no. You got any strange trees growing out of you, Dr. Captain Sir? If so, maybe. You just experienced true horror IRL. Oh no. What happened, Jody? What happened? Does anyone disagree also with Anatomy being a Triple H? A tree friend is a friend indeed. It really is. Trees are freaking awesome. Whoops. I'm dropping it here. Anyone let me know if Triple H does not belong with Anatomy. That game didn't overstay its welcome. It was an hour long. We played it multiple times, and it was a captivating story. Really well told. Eating cheese curds and you went to eat your last one. You don't know what was in that one? Ooh, but it doesn't appear, feel, or look like cheese. Oh no! Oh, Jody! I'm sorry. Oh. Put your hands on trees and talk to them. I've heard that plants do like sound. Also, trees feel great. Oh man, I hate that. We're just gonna say it was purebreding, and we're gonna leave it at that. Oh man, you hate to see it. You really hate to see it. Oh. Experiments about sound and plants. Yeah, it's all vibes. Exactly. Feeling like you want mouthwash? Might be a good idea to get mouthwash then. You know what? That might be an instinct to go off. To indulge in. Oh, that's awful though. Oh. All right, after Anatomy, we played Town of Light, which I'm happy having a Triple H. Amazing. We've got all one-offs except for Little Nightmares in Triple H. Interesting. Really neat. I mean, that's honestly amazing that Little Nightmares 1 and 2 we all feel like was a Triple H. You know? After Anatomy and Town of Light, we had Saturnalia, which is a bit controversial because, man, did that game make me spicy. Oh, amazing soundtrack, great visuals, but they leaned a bit too hard into wanting to make the town feel like a maze, in my opinion. I got lost so many times, and if I wasn't lost, and if the creature spawns didn't sometimes feel cheap, I would be okay with all of the character deaths that I had. Because it would feel like it was my fault versus me being punished for not being able to navigate in a intentionally confusing area. So it could have been better. It's really sad because this game has some really good highs, but I think for the monster spawns, for the confusing to navigate area where you don't have a mini map or really a good way of navigating, because you have to find those physical maps that are just posted at locations. And God, remember how long it took me to find the freaking bakery that burned down? Didn't rage more on that game. It was so many other parts of that game had me so happy, so positive that I felt so bad raging during it because I liked it so much aside from one or two things. The map of the monster spawns really did it for you, yeah. I liked the story though. I thought it was interesting. I thought the acting and the writing was good. And I get why they made the decisions that they did. I just wish I could have played a slightly easier version of that game. Oh, you pull out your toothbrush out of its holder and a bug fell into the sink. Oh no! You pretend it was in the cup before you put your brush in. Yeah, right? It had to have been that. Started wiggling. Oh, little dude, you were going on a cruise. Oh my god. There are places where, like, I never want to see a bug. I don't like seeing, like, I'm fine with bugs and spiders. I will try and keep spiders alive and move them out of my apartment unless they're in my bedroom. Then they just need to die because I can't deal with that thing potentially still moving around. Oh, story was interesting. It really was. I am also shocked how we survived that game. Unclear beetle type, not a dreaded roach. Yeah, that's good. Unclear beetle is fine. Oh. Yeah, having there's so many different kinds of beetles that all kind of look alike, but as long as it didn't look like a roach, you're good. Push at the end was nuts. It really was. I can't believe I pulled that off. Oh, but for anyone who doesn't remember Saturnalia, that was the game set in a town on an island with only one bridge in and one bridge out that participates in a not necessarily yearly, but a regular sacrifice of unwanteds and outsiders, in which they keep an elder being fed and possessed by setting it free and loose from the mine shaft of its stay and unleashing it upon anyone who happens to be in the street and in the dark. Wicker Man the game, pretty much, yeah. And we take control of 4 different characters: a youth who deserves better, a woman who was investigating the area to potentially reopen the mine for her bosses, who became pregnant by the town priest then trying to murder her. The youth, we find out, her aunt was sacrificed to the demon years ago, and she takes revenge on her father, who participated in that sacrifice. Maria, the woman who was pregnant by the town priest, who is also a married man, gets revenge on him by feeding him to the beast. We also play as, is it Lucas? A photographer who his parents, he's adopted, but his parents were from this town and he came looking for information about them. We found out his mother ran the town bakery that was burned down, and his father was a miner in the mine who wanted to unionize. And I believe, he wanted to unionize, and that's why they were like, no commie stuff here. We also followed a townie, I forget his name. He's been in town. He grew up in the town and then was sent away because he fell in love with the son of the ruling family, the family that used to live at the castle. And their relationship was frowned upon. So he was quietly sent away, and all of his correspondence to his love was confiscated and stopped. Upon returning home to take care of his father, he found that out. He also found out that his lover was not involved with the sacrifices, but was trying to stop them with another woman who betrayed him and who killed him because she thought her sister, who had been sacrificed, was still alive. And she didn't want him killing her in his want to stop the demon. All 4 characters escaped, then came back and stopped the I think we put an end to the sacrifice, maybe? We did something. We either put an end to it or we stopped the one that was currently happening. And some eventually came back and tried to build up the town and make it less full of awful, awful people. Pretty fun game, other than the parts where I spent most of the game completely lost and unable to figure out where I was going. Oh. After Saturnalia, we played Those Who Remain. Those Who Remain. A game about a man. About a man who has trauma about his wife and child who had died in a car accident. Turns out the wife was alive. We couldn't have guessed that. We start out going to a motel where our current girlfriend, Diane, works. We find her room empty, her shower on, and before we can say where's Diane or anything like that. Our car is stolen and driven down the road, and we go off chasing, and we forget about Diane for the rest of the fucking game. We are in a area, in a town. Diane was smart to run. Diane deserved better. We exist in a town where shadow creatures live in the dark and kill things in the dark. Is a town haunted by a terrible cruelty that had happened. And it's a game that was so fucking funny to make fun of for the first stream. We came out of this with shame boxes. And then it just kept going in stream 2. And then it threw in puzzles. And then it threw in first-person platforming when the platforms disappear, so I had to keep guessing where I was going to be, or if I would fall. Without a jump button. Oh, man. What a game. If this game had continued to be as dumb as it was in the first stream, I think it would be... Maybe it could have been better or pretty solid because, you know, it'd be funny. But it was so annoying. My God, it was so bad. I do agree that it goes on. It's a what were they thinking game. Okay. How do we feel between what were they thinking and Hall of Fame stinker? Remember how we were haunted by that boob demon? That we guessed immediately where its giant light was a headlight. And we got rid of that demon by saying, I recognize that I killed my daughter in a car crash, but I don't need to be haunted by that anymore. And then the demon just left. And then we spent so much time about following the girl's mother and what she did to cause the demon to appear, the demon of judgment. And I didn't need to know that. I already kind of put that together. And then we ended the game being put in the demon of judgment's employ, but we didn't get judged by the girl. And that would have been so cool. And I agree, bottom of the barrel, and this game gets the award of, I guessed the plot, and I came up with a better ending. So I will take my check, please. Oh, that game gets that special award. Protagonist was so dumb. Yes, winner of the actually dumbest protagonist award as well. We would find something to read in the environment, and then it would come up 10 minutes later and he'd be like, what? It's like, dude, you're not using your goddamn eyes? I don't know your life and I can guess it better than you can. Oh, man. What a stinker. But after that, we checked out The Excavation of Hobbs Barrow, a wonderfully written, acted, and animated game. Oh, which is hard to win. There was good competition. There was great competition for the dumbest protagonist in video games, Odious, surprisingly. I thought Tormented Souls had it. But you know what? You never count out those who remain. Hobbs Barrow was really good. I don't think I ever got too stuck on puzzles. There was one or two that took me a little bit to think through, but I feel like we were always making good progress. we were able to follow what was going on and kind of guess at things, and that ending, so good. I agree, pretty solid. I agree. If anyone disagrees, please let me know. Oh man, we showed everybody our worm. That was fun. I could go with either of the top two categories. Because we had that fun with the worm. We had a really good time. Trying to guess what horrible thing they had in plan or in store for our character. Oh man, but I'm good. Pretty solid. I think this game was really solid. More dead animals, there really were. There really were. And then from Hobbs Barrow, for Mary, who learned not to name things. We named the worms. We named him Nathan, didn't we? After our assistant. The game named that one. It did. Kenneth. Kenneth, that's it. Yes. Oh, Kenneth 1 and Kenneth 2. Oh. Then we come to Silent Hill 2. A game which I was waffling about playing. I wasn't sure a $70 remake would live up to that. Would live up to the storied history of Silent Hill 2. We play as James Poophand Sunderland as we explore all the holes in Silent Hill. Get all 8? No, I just got the one. I just got the one. I will be playing this game again, though. I 100% will. Although I have no clue how to get any other ending, so I'm getting the same ending over and over again, I guess. Oh, combat was really fun. The story was good. It was intriguing throughout. James didn't feel like an idiot. I mean, aside from how he was meant to feel like an idiot. And I feel like we caught on a lot of details throughout that really ended up paying off. Or that really added to it. Like when we were talking about his wedding ring and things like that. Well written, well acted. There wasn't any cringe. There wasn't too much cringe. Odious. Of the original. I kind of feel like Triple H. I feel like it lives up to what people have told me Silent Hill 2 is. Yeah, at least pretty solid. Yeah, maybe a Triple H. I feel Triple H. I feel like it does things above everything else in the solid category. It is definitely Triple H for me. I had a lot of fun with it. I played that game for 7 hours one day. I can't think of really any lowlights of the game. The one thing you missed large parts of the game though, that's fair. That is fair. There is a lot happens in a couple hours in that game. Yeah. I think that's where we're gonna. I think that's fair. Do y'all any last minute shifts you want to do? Any last minute changes? This was a lot. Make a highlight playlist for it. You probably put it on. I think I still need to finish the playlist, but they should all be highlighted now. But I'll get on that. Thanks for the reminder. I was going through and making playlists today even, trying to get things. Because I realized I like, for multi-stream games, it's good to have those in a playlist, but I always forget to do that. And Silent Hill 2 was like 4 streams? Not too long. That's the thing. It also didn't overstay its welcome, too. Like, after Thursday stream that was 7 hours, like, the next chunk just being around 4 hours, perfect. Perfect, like, end cap to put on everything. Because we had hit so many big beats. Yeah. Did enjoy that your reactions to some parts of the game were the same reaction KPP was having. Right? Oh. How Maria's back at the hospital still? Oh, I gotcha. Yeah. I forget, did you catch the ending with us, Odious? Did you catch the very end? Oh. Alright, okay, let me do a screenshot. Unless, okay, final call. Any changes anyone wants to make? Otherwise, we will go with this as our official hashtag ranking of the horror marathon. You're good? Alright. Mary approved. Let me take a screen. Just because I'm not sure. You did? Oh, perfect. It was really good. It was also. I mentioned that because Maria was in a hospital bed. All right. I will download this. I don't know what it's going to look like when it downloads, so I'm going to swap to a different view. Oh my goodness, y'all. Thank you so much for helping me go through that. Thank you so much for going on the horror marathon with me. This has been a ton of fun. I hope you all had fun as well. Hold on, let me check to make sure this downloaded right. Okay, it did. Perfect. Quit that.